Hi guys, so this is my presentation. It is titled Mobility for Everybody. So super important, maybe even more important than getting into the gym and lifting super heavy weights. You need to get this done before you even start lifting anything off the floor. So we'll have a little look now. So first thing, we're going to ask you some questions. So what's your training or movement history? So have you done sports? Have you played sports as a child? Do you play sports now? Do you go to the gym? What type of sessions do you do? Whether you do weight training, more cardio based work, yoga, any sort of exercise at all. What is your history? So, why should you include mobility in your daily life? Why should you include it in your routine? Why is it so important to you? You need to find out why you need to do it, and why it should be habitual for you. You need to review your current lifestyle as well. So, do you have a sedentary job? Do you move around a lot? Are you more active in your lifestyle? Um, do you walk to work? Do you drive to work? And we're going to look at making daily habits for a better body and a more mobile you, and looking at mobility as a head to toe approach, not just looking at it as one body part at a time, one muscle at a time. We're going to look at your body as a system. So all the way from the head to the toe, working all the way down, not just working, on your glutes because you want a bigger bum. So firstly, we're going to start off with your hips. So this is super important. We're going to look at your functions of your hips. So we have your hip picture of your hip cavity there. So extension, flexion, lateral flexion, and rotation. So a lot of us are sitting for prolonged periods of time. So our hip flexors actually tighten and become stiff. Sometimes they even shorten. So when you stand up after working from home for 8 hours of your day, you will probably be in quite a lot of pain in your hip area. You might feel like it's more comfortable to actually sit down as well. So we're firstly going to look at your extension. So that would be your couch stretch. So this can be done at home as well. Obviously, couch, it can be done off your couch. Flexion would be your deep lunge, lateral flexion, hip hikes, and rotation would be your 1990s. And if you're going to do any of these, do your 90-90. You're working on your extension, flexion, lateral flexion, rotation. You're also working on abduction and adduction. So you're getting so much out of that one exercise. Next, we'll have a look at your posture. So a lot of us can probably relate to this photo. Unfortunately, we can't really stop ourselves from slouching throughout the day. A lot of us think it's the worst thing in the world to slouch. It isn't. It's the fact that we're not getting up and keeping mobile. So a lot of us after work, we go home, we sit down again for the rest of the evening. When in an ideal world, we should kind of be getting up even when we're at work, walking around for a minute or two, stretching ourselves out, getting our blood flowing, and opening up our chest. If there's an exercise that you should do, it should be the barrel of monkeys stretch. So even start implementing this throughout your day. So opening up your chest, preventing any of that upper back restriction and pain that you might feel in your chest. You will find that it will be kind of uncomfortable to start off with, but when you do it more and when it becomes more of a routine, it'll be less sore, more easy to do. We'll also have a look at your core here. So your core is the foundation of your body. So think of the foundations of a house. You build the foundations of your house before you build a house. So this is like what your core does. So build up your core and it will kind of trickle through all the other parts of your body. So your isometric work for your core would be your planks. So that's anything where you're kind of holding tension and that kind of static movement. Rotational or moving work, this would be your bicycle crunches or your Russian twists, anything where you're twisting from side to side. Anti-rotational, so that's the opposite. So anything where you're resisting rotation or resisting movement. So a Pallof press or a dead bug. Reactive or reaching work, that would be balance work. So like a plate balance or a calf raise, which are also great for ankle stability. And then side planks, are just amazing. They're full body exercise. So if you want to get extra work out of your core, this also works your glutes, your shoulder stabilizers as well. Your glutes, we're going to move on to now. So strong glutes equals better posture. So think of that picture of the little stick people slouching over. They need to work on their glute strength as well. So good ways to mobilize and work on your glutes would be glute bridges. So loads of tension, go super slow with them. I don't want to see, just plopping up and down off the floor. Think of peeling up to the ceiling and peeling back down to the floor. Goblet squats are great. And also if you have the load at the front of your body, they will also work the core. Split squats are also a super good one. Any sort of kind of lunge exercise, single leg exercise is super good for your ankle health as well. And next time you're doing any sort of movement in the gym, deadlifts or squatting, think of squeezing your glutes. So if you're doing a deadlift, before you pick that weight up off the floor, think of glutes and switch them on immediately, squeeze your glutes, and then pick the bar up off the floor. You'll find that you get a lot more out of the exercise. You might even find the exercise a little bit easier. We mentioned ankles there, so these are super important for your overall stability. Good ankles equals more independence. So you think of, as people get older, you hear of people, breaking ankles, spraining ankles, slipping, ankle fractures. You need to work on ankle stability, strengthening up your ankles, and you'll be more independent, have more strength. Also, it improves your performance on the gym floor. So squats, deadlifts, running, you just have more stability overall. So things like rotating your ankles around in different directions, pointing your toes to the floor and up to the ceiling. So plantar flexion and dorsi flexion. Super, super easy, but super beneficial. And lastly, we're going to have a look at your toes. So you might not have ever thought of why your toes are so important, but they are the base of your body. That is why you are standing up. So walking, squatting, running, bench pressing, any sort of movement, you are using your toes. The more awareness you have of your toes, the more progress you'll get with your training. So think of scrunching your toes up into a ball, splaying your toes out. And, if you want to progress on from that, try lifting your little toe one at a time and travel up to the big toe and then reverse it. All these exercises will really benefit your training. You probably hear of us saying, glue your feet to the floor, plant your feet on the floor. If you don't have awareness of your toes, that doesn't mean a thing. We may as well be speaking into an abyss. So before, you start your session, or even waking up in the morning, sitting at your desk, whatever you do these two exercises, really engage with your toes and switch them on. You will find you get way more out of your training. So that is everything for today. So here's a little bit about me. So coach, personal trainer, and Pilates teacher. I'm an amateur baker as well. And I also have my Instagram handle down at the end if you're interested in finding out any more. Thank you.